Iraqi security forces killed 149 protesters, most by shots to head, chest.
Here's a summary of the article.
Baghdad, an Iraqi government committee investigating a wave of unrest found that 149 civilians were killed because security forces used excessive force and live fire to quell protests, according to its report, seen by Reuters. The report, which said more than 70% of the deaths were caused by shots to the head or chest, held senior commanders responsible but stopped short of blaming the Prime Minister and other top officials, saying there had been no order to shoot. Protests over high unemployment, poor public services and corruption erupted on October 1, prompting a violent security crackdown. The committee found that officers and commanders lost control over their forces during the protests caused chaos, the panel said in its report. There were no official orders from the supreme authorities to security forces to open fire toward protesters or use live ammunition at all, snipers. The report said 149 civilians and 8 members of the security forces were killed in a week of disturbances ending on October 7, and that it found evidence of sniper fire targeting protesters from inside a building in central Baghdad. The committee found during its field investigation shells from a sniper rifle inside an abandoned building near a petrol station in central Baghdad, the report said. 2 Iraqi security officials had told Reuters last week that Iran-backed militias deployed snipers on Baghdad rooftops during what became Iraq's deadliest anti-government protests for years.
This post received a score of 44,015, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
From Lebanon to Iraq, good luck. Your fight will be much more difficult.
I am Iraqi. I wish you luck too. Let's teach these corrupted pigs the power of people.
Why do I feel like a global strike is nearing? Aren't people dying from luck and T&P? Isn't there some way to save ourselves? Edited for clarity.
I just did some traveling. The people are restless everywhere.
The politicians are garbage everywhere, smiley face.
It's the same everywhere. The greedy buy their way into power, and then abuse it to make themselves richer. The world is finally waking up to it. Class war time.
The class war has been going on for time immemorial. Now the people just have the internet to help us know what's going on. The powers that be have a much harder time controlling and manipulating information to quell us.
Greater than the class war has been going on for time immemorial. Yes, and only a few times have the proles truly fought back.
And then corrupt people just take back over once the dust is settled.
In 2018, Nicaraguan forces killed over 400 people and arrested and tortured scores more. They completely crushed the protest movement in front of international eyes, and most Westerners have already forgotten if they saw it at all in the first place.
I never even heard about it.
Which makes it even the more depressing. For hundreds of people, choosing to stand up was the last and bravest thing that they did. Imagine dozens of your friends, family and compatriots going out knowing they might be murdered but making the choice anyway and dying for what they believed in, but their whole message being successfully snuffed out by their killers so that it was barely a blip internationally. Nothing changed, nothing really got better, the bad guys won.
And it's because the good guys are too scared to face the reality that this is actually escalating to a war, not a political referendum. Who are the good guys?
The civilians. Doesn't matter what country, it's always the normal people that are the good guys. People in power never do anything out of the good of their hearts.
I disagree. The end of segregation in the U.S. South had a shit ton of opposition from locals, and the federal government was the one that made it happen.
I think that the good guys in this situation are people being oppressed. This makes the bad guys people with power. At the end of the era of segregation, the oppressors were white Southerners who had power. Mostly an academic distinction, but they didn't need the politics to have power in a racist owning system.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.